Now, find a new rival.
Oh my god, when was the last time I've done a Nova Grappler video? Probably actually no, I've always played it when it was bad. I was gonna say the last time it was good, but that was like never. So, yeah, we're doing a Nova Grappler video, guys. I took this to New York because I basically had a free day to do whatever I wanted, given I have a free Worlds invite, and I decided to play the best deck in the game, Blau. It's real Blau hours. I was really cooking with this deck. I have an actual pretty decent Maiden matchup, but it was just unfortunate because the Maiden I faced that I lost to, I just didn't draw the piece that the deck relies on, so, oh well, unfortunate. The only possible way I lost to Maidens was bricking, so yeah, that says something, I guess. I don't know. Let's talk about Blau. We do have the starter. You have to play the Blau starter because the card refers to it. Pretty standard stuff. We go to our grade 3s, and we got our 4 Stern. Basic stuff. It rides. It's pretty good. It combos into Galaxy. If you aren't familiar with what it does for whatever reason, and you're bad enough to not understand true Blau culture, this guy goes into this guy attacks, and this guy gets this guy out, so it's like an extra couple attacks. The only downside is that this card has to discard cards to get there, but your deck kind of circumvents that, and also has, like, ways of gauging whether or not to go in versus whether or not to hold back a bit for a turn and then go in later. Basically, pretty standard right here. You got your 4 and 4. I don't play anything else because I didn't think it was necessary. The best card in the deck and the most mandatory card in the deck. If you do not open this card, you lose. You mulligan 5 for this guy every single game. There were games where I would open a grade 2 in my opening hand and it was not Blaukluger, and I would pass. And on my opponent's turn, they would attack me, and I would guard with the grade 2 just so I could G-assist for this guy. This guy is that important. The entire deck lives and dies by him. He is by far the most important piece in the deck. You always have to open him in order to just play the game in general. He's also really solid if you open multiples. He lets you aggro, he replaces himself. Very solid card overall. He also builds Soul, and there are times where this deck needs Soul. This is a card that I don't think anyone has ever actually read. This is Fever Rocketeer. You might be asking, why aren't you playing Dolly or Valiant or Heroes? Where in this card's effect does it say Hero? Tell me, besides on his race right there, which doesn't matter, where in his card text right here does it say anything about a hero? Nowhere. That's right, this guy is completely generic, and nobody realized it. I have been on this guy since he came out in every Nova Grappler deck possible, except for Victor because he needs Soul for that deck. This card is a 1-card intercept through Piano. This card is a 20k column boosted on turn 2, hits over heal guards, huge deal. They can attack into this and waste an attack. They can leave him here, and then later on he scales. Turn 3, if you open all your Blaus, and you have a bunch of grade 3 Blaus, what you can do is you can call like one of them plus the Galaxy, and then just fill the rest of your board with this guy and the other card that I'll get into later, and you just tank that first turn, and then just go into kill next turn. That's the thing that Blau tries to do the most, is it rides up, it wants to pressure you a little bit, and then next turn it kills you. So, just living to that turn 4 is a huge deal, and this card absolutely gets you there. This card is absolutely mandatory at 4, it is too good not to play. Even without Piano in the game, this card stays at 4. To complement the 4 copies of him, guess what other card does not say Hero anywhere in its card text? That's right, it's Warrior of Chakram. Tell me, where in this effect does it say Hero? You're right, guess what? Nowhere. If you are at 5 damage, this card is a 30k shield. That's stupid. That breaks over a triple force marker Piano turn, okay? There was a world where I was playing 4 of this. The issue with that is that when you play 4 of this, the deck kind of turtles and does almost nothing, so I wanted to play a couple more random push cards because I still want the deck to have a win con, but there is a world where you cut this and play more of this. I just found that the 20k column was better with this, and also this has way more applications earlier on in the game if you're trying to stay at low damage. This does scale the more damage you take, but you don't always want to be taking damage. I still think this card is insane, though. So yeah, we do play 6 huge interceptors to break through the Piano turn. Very, very solid. You have to play him, Cool Hank. It's just insert any kind of random aggressive card that stands. This can be Hank, this can be Kick, this can be literally whatever the hell you feel like. I just wanted Hank because it requires no counterblast, and you only use him on your kill turn. It also just gives you a better ride target if you aren't riding the Thing, which is unfortunate, but sometimes he can get you the Thing. Also, the Thing that you draw in this deck, in the Draw the Thing deck, Blaukluger, Pushes himself into soul, so it troubleshoots it if you don't see it for a turn, which is nice. You can draw it off of this guy, and then you're solid. So yeah, like, having the crit restand column is always really nice in Nova Grappler, and having access to it with this guy is pretty crucial. For Blau Panzer, this is the thing we want to ride, because it grabs another Blau. Pretty standard. This is a card that lets us end on 9 cards on turn 1 if we go second, which is pretty damn nice. It is just very good, and it helps troubleshoot the problems of this deck, and also it gets you a piece when you call it to the field. So you can grab your Galaxy you're missing, or you can grab your Stern that you need for follow-up. So yeah, pretty solid overall. Never play less than 4. To complement Grade 3 Searchers, we play more Grade 3 Searchers. This card is insane. The only time you will ever get the 5k off of this card is Cool Hank. That doesn't matter. All it's here for is consistency. You just need to get to your Grade 3s, or the deck does nothing. And again, you can choose not to play this card if you don't want to, and the deck will still perform perfectly fine. This is just here to troubleshoot those couple of games that you might not see the piece, and it's just that much more important to get there. This card can also just deck thin late game, which is also nice. And then another thing that is very crucial is getting to your heal guards, which, again, your deck lives and dies by. If you don't play heal guards, there's a case for not playing these if you want to just play max crits fronts and whatever. But yeah, I just play 4 of this. People are cutting this, but I think it's actually very important in Blau. This is Morgenrot. This lets you commit your whole Grade 3 hand to your field. End of turn, you get them back for follow-up, which is crucial. You always need follow-up in this deck. If you are blind going in and bashing them with Blaus, there is no reason you should ever win the game, because you aren't setting up for next turn, which is your kill turn, and your turn 3 is literally just there to get their hand down a bit and to get damage up just a little more. Turn 4 is always the turn you're killing. If you're trying to kill on turn 3, that means you opened the nuts and you were winning anyways. This card, namely, is just here to get the thing. It opens the piece. If you only have like 1 Blau, you can use this and get it. It's a minus, but it does get you follow-up, which is in your advantage. And to complement this, so note that on end of turn, you are retiring this and bouncing a Blau that you already had in hand, so you're inherently going -1. Where this actually comes in addition to your Grade 2s intercepting off the field, so that you free up space for cards, is that you can play more of this if you want to. I play 2 Swordbrand Gladiator. This card is almost never dead. You are often using it to draw 1, but the draw 2 is actually very good later on in the game. Let's say you use this to bounce something. That's an inherent -1. Use your hand to guard. You intercept off your field. It is very easy to fulfill this card's draw 2 condition in this deck. On top of that, in matchups where you already have your pieces, you can actually guard your hand away on turn 2, stay at 0. Next turn, you have exactly enough field and hand in conjunction, so you can draw 2 with this and unbrick yourself. Pretty solid card. I was playing 3, but I cut it for Hanks, just because aggression is nice sometimes. But yeah, you can absolutely cut Hank for more of this, for more of like random interceptors and stuff. You can even play Brute the Beast if you really, really care about getting the pieces, but I am not a fan of that card because it's too counterblast. And you already have enough searchers in the deck to get to your things. But yeah, this card, again, you can play more Grade 1s if you want to, just to get to the 20k columns. Another thing I was playing in this deck also was Drill the Duel, but it's not as abusable in this deck as it is in another deck that I will cover later on. Drill the Duel is basically, if you're not familiar, whatever it boosts becomes a piano for the turn, so they have to guard with 2 or more for it. The issue with this deck is this deck hits numbers, and you don't always want to be using Drill the Duel on a deck where a card hits numbers. You want to be swinging under so that they're over-guarding it at every point in the game, so that it's harder for them to efficiently guard your higher numbers. I just didn't personally find Drill the Duel that good in this deck, but you can try it if you want. It's just another really good aggressive card. Triggers I go back and forth on pretty often. You need your 4 heal guards because it's pretty standard. There's a world where you just max out your offensive triggers, and that's decent, but I just wanted to play 4 because surviving a single piano column does often require you to be at 2 to 3 damage, even through the interceptors. So yeah, that was a thing. Especially now, like with the piano gone, it gets a little bit easier, so you can kind of survive the piano turn on more damage, so you don't have to guard as early, but even then, this is still a 4 of. There are times where people will leave you at 0 damage for whatever reason if they open really bad, and again, just getting that 1 damage to go full combo is nice. We play 3 draw PGs. I am just too scared of Valkyrion to not play at least 3. I personally respect Valkyrion way too much. I think that deck is insane. I think it is top 3 in V, and it should get hit, because it only dies to itself. I fucking hate that deck. That deck is annoying as hell. I mentioned it in Maidens. It was the only deck I was scared of, and like, Even 3 PGs isn't enough sometimes. Just the one to live the one turn is all you need just to try and just, like, barely hope to push back. And then that's when it comes up. And then I played one of this. This can be a draw. This can be fronts. These are all just crits. You can mix up your offensive numbers. There were a couple games where fronts would have came up, but I personally just am not a fan of fronts. Take this into consideration. One of the best decks in the game could spam like 20 excels, and it still didn't play fronts in the most optimized build. The only reason you ever play them is for the shield. They're just not reliable enough. They do come up sometimes, but they don't come up enough. So yeah, 9 crits. Again, crits are really good. Crits early get you closer to your win con. Crits late game, you stack them on a really big column, and it messes up their guarding patterns. So yeah, again, just play the triggers, whatever. And yeah, that's the Blau list. Going over my matchups for the day. Round 1, I faced Amon, which happens to be this deck's worst matchup. It just ate my hand away, and I couldn't play the game. Amon is insanely stupid if they get the combo, and just, like, they also opened Hope on Damp. Had they not seen Hope on Damp, I actually would have won, but again, they just have access to the most broken card in the format, so, like, fucking whatever. Round 2, I faced Bang Dream and I won. I have no idea what that deck does. My opponent actually, like, got their world invite already, and just decided to meme like I did, and we were just facing each other in round 2, which was pretty funny. I won. I didn't even read a single one of the cards, but, like, whatever, dude. Hopefully I won't have to read a single Bang Dream card at Worlds, so, I don't know. Maybe I'll skim through the card pool just to be sure. I don't know, man. Round 3, I faced Overlord. I lived the turn twice, and I won. That says it. His hand wasn't that big, so I just ate through it. What else? I faced a couple more Maidens. I lost to a Maiden because I didn't open the Blau Kluger. I beat a Maiden because I opened the Blau Kluger, and I outed his piano turn. I'm trying to remember what else. I think I lost to another Maiden because I opened the thing, and I was one card guarding everything on his final turn, but I had to hit a single defensive in order to survive. So I was at like 2, and I'm like, okay, if I hit 1, I'm guarding everything with just my intercepts. And I hit 3 damage triggers, and none of them were defensives. And I'm like, okay, that's just variance, whatever. GG. I ended up playing through the rest of Swiss. I'm trying to remember what else I even faced. I faced a Leopold, which I did okay against, I think. Yeah, I beat the Leopold. Oh, that's right. I faced Casey, Cross from the team. He was playing Valkyrion. Basically, I was his entire playtesting experience, and he was just stomping me because he played 12 crit Valk, and that deck just wins because he opens the thing. Like, I straight up don't even remember the rest of my matches. It's been so long. Like, did I face a Royals? I think I faced a Jewel Knights, and I don't know. It was, what, 8 rounds? 7 rounds? The whole thing was a blur to me. I don't really care because I haven't thought about this game in so long. I am just happy I got to take Blau to a tournament before I got out of the game, so that's why I'm making this. I might also make another video on the other Nova deck I was thinking about playing, which is basically like mini Steam Maidens, but again, I'll figure out if I want to show you guys that before Worlds, whenever I do. So yeah, this has been the, whatever I call this shit, I don't know, the Blau video.
Card Fight Vanguard! So you would like to start playing Vanguard? How about these ultra cool robots? Or maybe these next generation dragons? Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons! Robots! Dragons!